Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for stopping by. On this channel, I talk most about the raw food diet and lifestyle, raw vegan diet and lifestyle, a fruit-based diet. So, if you're interested in that, maybe you want to subscribe, and we can keep all this conversation going. And I was hearing a message the other day by a raw food influencer, and you know something that I've seen in my life is I don't think anyone needs, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anyone needs advice on how to eat cooked food. I really don't think anyone needs advice on that. How to do it, how much cooked food to eat. People were indoctrinated, force fed cooked food as children. They were force fed it throughout their childhood and they developed the addiction and the habit of eating cooked food. I get that. I went through that process. I know it. And I've, you know, kind of got away from it mostly and don't really regret that and don't really look to go back to that. But there are raw food influences of people that seem to think that there's a problem in the raw food diet or the raw food community, the raw food lifestyle of people being too perfect and like it's too whatever and too this and that. Like this is the raw food diet, the raw vegan diet. If you're interested in that, it is a diet without cooked food. You can eat a cooked food diet with a lot of raw food in it. You can keep including cooked food in your diet. That's what everyone does. But the idea that you come to the raw food movement and then tell everyone in the raw food movement, you're too you're this is too perfectionist. This is too you're actually trying to get rid of cooked food and all that. And the thing that I've heard that's come up a couple of times is this idea of like, oh, I was really stressed about eating cooked food or not, and I would have these desires to eat cooked food and I would get stressed out about it. That's called addiction. That's addiction. That's exactly what that is. I was stressed out about eating cooked food. You are addicted to eating cooked food. You're not stressed out about it. You're addicted to it. Your body is programmed because of the addiction to keep going back to it, and you cannot stop yourself. And those cravings are stressful. That's what that is. It's addiction. You can remain in the addiction and keep on eating cooked food and keep on having a lack of control over your diet and over your life. Or you can break free of it. And it will be stressful at first. But I don't stress out about not eating potatoes. I'm sorry, but I don't. And maybe you do. Or maybe you stress out about not eating, if you do or don't eat rice, if you do or don't eat pasta, if you don't eat noodles, if you do or don't eat bread. I don't stress out about those things. I don't think about them. I'm not going to say that my diet is perfect the way I want it, but in terms of those things, I don't stress out about eating things that I don't eat. The habit of eating them I broke quite a while ago, and I've had to break twice because I went back to eating a bunch of those things. And people are completely misindicating this stress as something about, oh, I've got this perfectionist mindset. It's nothing to do with that. It's an addiction. It's like a smoker giving up cigarettes stresses out. Major, major stress about that. That's how it works. And then eventually that stress and that cravings go away. So that's what people are feeling, and they're acting like it's something to do with perfectionism or like I felt like, and I hear the same thing again and again and again. None of these excuses are ever new. Oh, the raw food movement, they're so evil and nasty. They want people to eat raw food. It's like, it's a healthy diet. Like, it's what every animal does, every single animal in history. It's not that weird. Every living organism in the history of life consumes its diet raw, without processing, cooking, butchering, seasoning, or all the rest of it. Why shouldn't humans be able to do that? And I think even raw foodists mess it up, My diet, some of the failings of my diet at the moment, I eat too many. Well, I don't mind it that much, but I eat a lot of tomatoes. If I like peppers, I eat peppers if they're around, if I like them. And I don't think that's perfect. I eat a lot of that. I add like a salt-free seasoning sometimes to salads and things. And to be honest, like the one I've got is like a bit too hot. I feel like I've burned my mouth a little bit. Like, oh, should use less of that. Or whatever. Um, Pasteurized juice I sometimes have. I've had I've had things with sugar in them, with refined sugar, either juice or fruit things or ice lollies that are fruit juice or whatever, but have sugar in them. So I've done things like that. Um, I've had like dry roasted nuts, not recently, but I have it. So I have, in the last few years, I've had nut things and salad with a dressing with salt in it, and I've had lots of times where I had too much fat, too many nuts, pistachios, avocados, whatever. So in terms of being perfectionist, I don't see myself as a perfectionist or being perfect because I don't eat bread. You know, I don't eat bread. I don't eat potatoes. I want fruit to be the main calorie source of my diet. I don't want starches to be the main calorie source of my diet. I see these things as being totally different. When people say, like, oh, well, eating starches, it's kind of the same or it's not that much different, it's way different. It's way different. I can't even believe people make up these things. And that's what addiction does. It makes people lie and go, oh, yeah, I just like flow with it sometimes and I'll have some potatoes and then I'll, go back to eating raw and then I really like to eat raw and then go back to eating potatoes. Like, no, you don't. People do that kind of thing for a day or two. You end up go right back to eating potatoes all the time. And I was making this point that, uh, for example, I feel the addiction of tomatoes. I feel they're a more addictive food. Even peppers, they're more addictive. There's something, and I always compare it with bananas because I feel like bananas are one of the least addictive foods. And I've eaten loads of bananas, but I cannot get addicted to these things. Bananas can make me feel better than any food. I was doing Fruity Fridays the other night. We do a Friday night Zoom, and I was eating bananas on the Fruity Fridays. And I don't usually eat and chew bananas. If I eat bananas, it's like a smoothie or something. But I was just eating and chewing these bananas, and I was feeling phenomenal. I was feeling on the banana high, the banana bliss, whatever you want to call it. And I want to start banana parties where we just eat bananas. Get rid of durian parties. Banana parties, people will feel phenomenal. Durian is like, yeah, we like the taste of it. It's good, nice. We feel good after durian. It's all right. Bananas would be another level. Now, no one wants to sit and eat 15 bananas. I totally get that. You know, well, I do, but a lot of people don't. And you feel phenomenal after it a lot of the time. And I was feeling phenomenal after eating these bananas. Like just all the chemicals were turned on, all the good chemicals. And not sure why I brought that up. But yeah, bananas, like I feel they're one of the best feel good foods. That's how good they can make me feel. I cannot get addicted to them. I can't get myself. I force myself every time that I go to eat bananas like that, I'm virtually forcing myself to do it. And yet I feel phenomenal and they digest so well and everything is perfect. And I can't addict myself to them. They're amazing, amazing. But I said, if bananas, and I'm telling you how amazing they make me feel, if the bananas had a disease and they were going to disappear for a couple of months or a couple of years or whatever, I don't know how many raw foodists would really stress out about that. It's a definite inconvenience, but we're pretty much changing our calorie source. Well, I don't even bananas haven't even been a huge part of my calories a lot of the time. But we're gonna go for uh we're maybe gonna use more dates and make some more Datorade or date smoothies if we want that high calorie thing. Figs, um, persimmons when they're around. I'm just gonna adapt. Apples, orange juice or orange, pineapples, just a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna figure it out. It's only like for most people, it's only 2,500, 2,000 to 2,500 calories. It's not even that much to replace. So I wouldn't really freak out. I wouldn't be that happy about it. I wouldn't be that happy about it. But it'd be so easy. Like, oh, you can't have bananas today. Okay. Zero stress. Oh, you can't have bananas this month. Zero stress. You can't have bananas for the next 3 months. Zero stress. Unhappy about it, maybe. That's a bit annoying. Very fleeting thought. Zero stress. But you tell most people doing like Rossel 4 or vegan diets or whatever, you can't have potatoes this for this meal and they will freak out. I'm telling you, they'll freak out. You know, and that's why they stress about it. It's because and you have to then say, why are you freaking out about those foods and not other foods? You don't freak out when the pears are out of season. You don't freak out when the melons they're not the melons you like aren't there anymore. When I was doing my mango mono fast thing, it, the mangoes were starting to run out. The season was starting to change, wasn't so good. And that was a bit annoying because I couldn't keep the mango fast going, or I wasn't maybe going to be able to. I would have had to adapt it maybe to a different type of mango I would have to have found or something. But I wouldn't have went through an addictive withdrawal period and all that kind of thing. And stressful thoughts about mango, 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 mango all the time. And but that's what happens with cooked food. That's what happens with cooked food, so that's the way it is. Well, I think that's what happens with certain things with potatoes and stuff. And it's a delusion to think you can just have a little bit of potatoes now and again. You're never gonna stop eating them. Like it's my opinion, but it's my experience. Now, what concerns me is that some people, I've heard a number of people now, who have done a raw food course, and they come out of it and they go, what I learned in that course is I don't have to like worry too much about being raw or not, and steaming is different to like boiling or frying food, so and there's not that much of a difference between being raw and I'm like, you're doing a raw food course that's teaching you to eat cooked food. Like, what's that all about? Oh, it's okay to have cooked food now and again, like you're already stating that there's something wrong with it. If you eat it, if you have to eat it now and again, there's some problem with it. Why not just say, listen, being completely healthy, being as healthy as I can choose to be, treating my body as well as I can choose to treat it is not as important to me as the pleasure, the short-term pleasure of eating food. And people don't want to say that because they don't want to sound sort of immature and childish. Or that's maybe how they feel. But it's just very human to be weak like that, to have that instinct. You know, at the end of the day, everyone wants to go for pleasure over discipline or whatever. But the challenge of the raw food diet, but also the reward of the raw food diet comes in actually practicing the raw food diet, eating the food, eating the raw food, getting the benefit from, eating the bananas and feeling amazing, and in a way that no cooked food could ever make you feel like that. In fact, almost nothing could make you feel like how those bananas made you feel. And right now, tonight, I knew I could sit and eat bananas and feel probably phenomenal again, or I could have a very basic salad and not really feel that phenomenal. And I chose a salad. You know, it's a raw salad, whatever, but I still chose that. You know, and I want to go towards bananas. I've got no desire. Another thing that people get taught sometimes in a raw food course or from raw food is, well, it's very important to get the minerals. And I'm telling you, this minerals is like a buzzword for eat cooked food. You know, like, well, you can't get the minerals from the fruit. Could you provide any evidence for that statement? There's no evidence for that. Well, look, fruit has less minerals. Yeah, but how many minerals do we need? You know, what are we talking here? That we, you know, I went to a friend's house today, showed me all these supplements. He was like, oh yeah, this stuff. You should try this stuff. All these supplements, big. He does this blend and that blend and this, you know. And I'm looking at these things. I bet that's 50 quid for that tub. 60 quid or whatever. Probably hundreds of pounds of these supplements he's got on the table. You know. And people somehow can't accept that, that's you eat bananas and you get these all these things, like all this stuff is, in fact, bananas are way more complex, have way more things in them, way more antioxidants, hundreds of thousands of things in them, potentially, and so many benefits. But people take supplements. It's wild. So everyone's caught up in this madness, this religion of deficiency, in a world of absolute abundance, in a world of. And I was speaking to my uncle today, who was a psychiatrist, and he was telling me about people that had alcohol-related brain problems. And I'd heard about this before. Alcoholics can get a thing called Korsakoff's, and this is a B vitamin deficiency from alcohol. Well, from drinking alcohol and like not drinking any, not eating anything else, or not eating. But it's probably they're drinking alcohol and eating like junk food if they're eating any food, um, or processed food or whatever. If they're eating any food, and you've seen people in their 20s and 30s can have this, and they can treat them by giving them supplements, but they could treat them by giving them fruit. It's just that people don't eat fruit. You save your life with fruit, but nah, bananas. It's only bananas. It's only apples. It's such a disrespect. It's such a disrespect towards fruit. Korsakov's is some kind of vitamin B deficiency. I mentioned berry, and he kind of nodded like he maybe dealt with that or seen that as well. And the Korsakov's destroys your memory, and literally you can't. If once it happens, like that's it. You've damaged the part of your brain It deals with the memory. So that's where deficiency is a thing. The stuff that fruit gives you. If you don't have fruit, then you get those deficiencies. There's no one going around with brain disorders because of my lack of minerals. This stuff doesn't happen. No one's not got enough zinc. It doesn't, like, everyone's supplementing zinc, magnesium. No one doesn't have enough of those things. Maybe that's a pretty bold statement, but like, basically, people are trying to get zinc, magnesium, these certain things into their diet, into their body, some omega 3 and all that. No one's got omega 3 problems, zinc, magnesium. No one. But there are actual people in society with Korsakoff syndrome, from a lack of vitamin B1. There are actual people that potentially have beriberi. There might even be people with some scurvy or some low sign of scurvy. This is what happens when we don't have our fruit-based diet. That's deficient. That's deficiency. That's the deficiency to worry about, not eating fruit. As with every single deficiency, really major one in the history of the world, not eating fruit was the problem. Night blindness in Africa still happens to this day, not eating enough fruit. Beriberi happened in Japan, no fruit. Pellagra happened in the US, no fruit. Like all these things, scurvy, no fruit. But everyone's convincing you about minerals. None of these were mineral problems. And all the people with low iron have plenty of iron in their diet. It's not Iron isn't the problem. So this mineral thing it's just so basic. It's like minerals equals things that are salty. Salty equals cooked food. I need to eat cooked food to have salty minerals. Like minerals don't even have flavor, most of them. Like the idea that, yeah, if you eat something salty, that's because it's got lots of minerals. No, you can have more minerals in a fruit. You just don't, it doesn't taste salty because it has sugar in it. So, I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll save one person at a time, but you know, this great opportunity to eat a raw food diet 100%. Who knows? It might be the case that the food supply changes and we don't have the ability to do it anymore. And someone else said that to me today, like, well, what would happen if the food shortages come and we couldn't eat fruit? It's like, well, we don't need to worry about that. There's plenty of fruit. There's never a shortage of fruit. During COVID, there wasn't shortages of fruit. Fruit. There was plenty of fruit. Everyone's on the suicide train. Everyone's going to the suicide food aisles. The fruit aisle has got plenty of fruit most of the time. People are desperate for an excuse to not eat raw food, to not eat a raw food diet. Oh, the price. Oh, the the availability of fruit, the environmental thing, my digestion, the blah blah blah, the minerals, the lack of minerals, the lack of omegas. Like, everyone's looking for these excuses because they all want to go and binge at the vegan restaurant, and they don't want to accept that because they can't they don't accept what I accept about myself. That I'm not really in control of my eating, of my diet. I don't make decisions rationally about what I eat. I don't make a logical decision about, well, I'm going to eat this food, dark leafy greens, to get my protein, my thing, and I'm going to have that to get my selenium today. And I'm got like nonsense. No one's choosing how to eat like that. Oh, I better get more fat. No, you just want to eat the fat. You like the taste of it. You get a short term pleasure from it. You don't feel good after doing it. You know, a lot of these people would turn their noses up if you go, why don't you have bananas for dinner tonight? Why don't you have bananas? They'd feel better eating the bananas. 100%. So no one wants to accept it. I've been around enough raw foodists to see this, and people on the verge of raw food, and people trying to go raw. I've been around it enough to know what I see, to say what I see. And people can be surrounded by the most amazing fruit, and they're just dialed in on the cooked food, focused in on their rubbishy cooked food, and then you see them feel terrible after it, and you're like, should have ate fruit, right? They won't accept it. They want to hold on to their addiction. What can you do? What can you do? I just think we need to be honest with ourselves, honest about who you are. You'll only succeed on a raw food diet if you're honest about your weaknesses, and the stress is your addiction. And you're honest about it. It's an addiction. You're not in control. You're not going to eat cooked food once in a while and feel great and go back. You're not going to do that. It's an addiction. You're going to go back to it all the time. So be honest with yourself. Honesty. Never mind, like the raw food diet is elitist. The raw food diet is honest. The raw food community, the good parts of it, are honest with you. Like you cannot achieve the top levels of health, fitness, performance on any other diet other than 100% raw vegan, fruit based, low fat, you know, maybe even no nightshades. And I'm happy to say that even though I eat tomatoes all the time. So completely hygienic, whatever. And that's honest. Do I want that to be the reality? No. I love the idea that I could go out to the vegan restaurant, eat whatever I like, and come right back to the raw food diet the next day. Ain't ever gonna happen like that. That's never gonna be how it works. Never, 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 never. It's a totally different thing. It's not like, oh, starches is just like slightly down from fruit. It's totally different from fruit. So I don't know. What do you want me to say? I'm just gonna give you the hard facts of it. The hard, cold facts. You accept it or you don't accept it. It's available to you. This feeling amazing, feeling good, looking at your best, like it's all available to you. And by the way, I need to learn that as well. I need to remember that too. As I'm telling you, I've got the week. I want to be on a banana diet. I've been saying this to myself for a good few months now, maybe even a year now. I'm like, I need to get to just bananas for a while. I need to get to just bananas for a while. That's what I want to do. Bananas or sweet fruit for a while. And I was just sweet fruit for a while last year at some point. And then the festivals came, and I ate the prepared meals and stuff. But I want to get to, I just want to get to fruit. I want to get to bananas. I'm working on it. I'm working on myself to get to bananas, 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 bananas. I'm not forcing myself. I'm not like, all right, from today I'm gonna do it. No, that's not the way it works. I'm not in control. I'm just gonna keep on feeding myself the idea, let's do bananas, let's do bananas, let's do bananas. One day I'm gonna wake up. Ah, I did just bananas today, you know. So I want to do it the rest of my life. Like I don't want to do it for 30 days. I want the rest of my life, you know. So anyway, take it as you like. Feel free to put whatever you like in the comments. Subscribe if you like. Share it if you like. And uh, you know, I don't want this to be a stressful message to you. I just think it's an honest message to me as well. You understand? Like it's not like I've never felt stress about giving up cooked food. It's not like it's not like I'm fully in control of what I eat or whatever. I just try and put myself in the best position possible. and keep figuring that out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in another video, I guess.